Good morning. It is 4 something in the morning right now. 4:29. What to make of shame and guilt? Is there a place for shame and guilt? There's a lot of noises right now. I got a little space heater going. The music, I don't know if you can hear the music at all. This laptop's interesting the way it handles audio. Anyway, the little space heater thing just kicked on. Grabbed my attention. Squirreled me. Squirrel. Anyway, are feelings of shame and guilt appropriate ever? For how long should we maintain these feelings? Those feelings. What good are those feelings? Do they serve us or do they kill us? Maybe all feelings are meant to guide us, meant to serve us for our highest and best. Can they be uncomfortable? Most certainly. Should we hold on to such feelings long term? Should we walk with feelings of guilt or shame for a particular situation? Should have put commas in there. Let me try that again. Should we hold on to feelings of guilt for the long term? Should we walk with feelings of guilt or shame for a particular situation for the balance of our days? I'd suggest the space heater went off, so it's quieter now. I don't feel like I have to yell as much. I'd suggest the feelings are meant to grab our attention, to show us an error in our ways. Maybe they're meant to help us learn and grow, but maybe keeping them long term and using them as a whipping stick to berate and demean ourselves isn't the most high way to use them. Would that serve the individual? Now, this is a different kind of question, but this is another line of thought. But it obviously, I thought it was in alignment. How I typed it out. Would that serve the individual, holding on to feelings of walking this world with a feeling of shame and guilt for something they've done or for the essence of who they are, for whatever the fucking thing is, for buying a story of someone? Hold on. Would that serve the individual? Is it possible to beat down an individual for the betterment of the masses? Oh, that's an interesting question. Oh, and then the AA book thing. Let me get on that first. And I didn't look at I did look at the time. Am I like 3 minutes into this right now? No way. No way. Let me get on that. Well, I was about to go off on a different thing here a minute ago. Where was I? Maybe they're meant to help us learn and grow. Oh yeah. So I basically, I think you can tell where I'm going with the whole thing. I think that feelings of shame and guilt are beautiful, and they're part of the human process, that they are there for a benefit. I think when I have a feeling of shame or guilt, I want to know why. Do I feel this way? What action did I take? What did I do? You know, that kind of a thing. What transgression did I transgress, you know, in the world, you know, whatever. I want to identify that which led me to those feelings. I want to course correct, whatever that means, right? After I identify what it is that led me to those feelings, course correct, whatever that means, right? Give myself grace. I want to forgive myself. I want to give myself grace. I want to see the bigger reality of what I am, not identify with the action that I took that led me to those feelings, right? And then move on, right? I don't think it serves you first and foremost, nor your world, for you to walk around with the perpetual feeling of guilt and shame. I think we're getting the attention grab, you know, we're getting that's what the feeling is there for. These emotions are there to grab our attention. Don't walk don't walk through the valley with a shadow of death. Don't pitch a tent there. All right, so real quick, go to 8081. Now, when I was putting this together the other day, anyone that putting this together, I actually opened a book. Yeah, hilarious how that works. That's what I was just about to say. That's exactly what I was about to say. So when I was putting this together, I had a thought of something that I had found in this book. And it's on page 80 on Shame and Guilt, but this was funny to me. So if you notice, I've got some things written in the sides here. You know, you're in the flow, in the zone, when you're in alignment, when synchronicities start popping, or just there's confirmations along the path, right? Now, of course, to acknowledge nothing has any meaning outside of the meaning we give. We give everything the meaning it has, right? Nothing has any meaning other than for us, other than the meaning that we give it. We are meaning creation creatures, right? It happened, and we decide what it means. So, and two, I do, and also, I was gonna say, but and also, I trust that still small voice, and I'm acknowledging more and more. I think these validations and confirmations are always available to all of us all the time, but I am witnessing them a little bit more and more these days. So anyway, blah, 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 in a fashion. So the chances are that we have. This is an AA book, so they're talking about particular transgressions that one who comes outside their mind can create, right? So this is a philosophy book, though, right here. That's what this is. This is a very fascinating philosophy book. Perhaps we are mixed up with women in a fashion we wouldn't care to have advertised. And then I put in here, well said about anything, right here. Well said about anything. So that was usually a topic of basically cheating on lying to your spouse. Maybe we got mixed up in a fashion we wouldn't care to have advertised. And I liked that. And I put on shame and guilt, basically, right? So my notes here was on shame and guilt, talking about right there, and about that, and that fashion that everything's backwards. In a fashion we wouldn't care to have advertised. I just really liked that. This is a side note here, but I had written, what I was getting at with the in alignment, open up the page thing, was I was looking for that. What I just shared you, this on shape, I liked that idea. You know, I think the idea is that this is the thought process that started this thing. I've done many of things that would make me feel shameful and guilty, right? Shame and guilt. Yeah, those are the words, shame and guilt. And because I'm a human, right? Right. And I don't walk with shame or guilt in any way, shape, or form. I'm very happy with who I am in this world. Understanding the biggest room in the world is a room for improvement. Understanding that I am a human. Understanding that I'm just a soul whose intentions are good. Oh, Lord, I understand that I will be misunderstood. I have this thing, because humans are misunderstood. This is how we all are. It's just what it is. Oh, I don't have a bookmark on this for this page. What I say and what another hears will never match. This is something I've kind of been playing with a little bit here, but lately in my own mind, putting myself out there more and making my arguments and, whatever. I think a big part of it is, while my intention is never to be offensive, to offend anyone, at the same time, I am accepting, and I have to be accepting of the fact that there's as many interpretations of what I'm saying or who I am as there are perceivers to interpret, right? And I think just acknowledging that is a very liberating stance, because that allows us to move freely in this world not without the considerations of others. Is that I personally can never, I'm not built for that. I could never get that far without consideration of others. But there's a balance in there, right? Understanding and acknowledging that what I say and what you hear will not match. That's true for all of us, right? There's just an acceptance of that. I'm getting off topic here. What was I gonna say? Oh, with the page that I'd found. Oh, this is worthy of note while I got the page open here. This is off topic for the point of the shame thing here, but maybe not. I had wrote, I understand it's complicated, but I'd rather, but I'd think the wife has the wife has the right to know. She has ownership here. And the other woman already involved herself. So let me see what I'd written down here. Whatever the situation, we usually have to do something about it. If we are sure our wife does not know, should we tell her? Not always, we think. If she knows in a general way that we have been wild, should we tell her in detail? Undoubtedly, we should admit our fault. Good. She may insist on knowing all the particulars. Now, this is the part I underlined. She will want to know who the woman is and where she is, of course. I didn't know, of course. I just said that. We feel we ought to say to her that we have no right to involve another person. What? That's when I wrote in the lines here. All right, hold on. Then I wrote here. That's what I underlined. And then it continues. We are sorry for what we have done, and God willing, it shall not be repeated. More than that, we cannot do. We have no right to go further, though there may be justifiable exceptions, and though we wish to lay down no rule of any sort, we have often found it is best. This is the best course to take. And I just wrote interesting take. But this whole idea here, the part that I underlined, she will want to know we feel we ought to say to her, we have no right to involve another person. That other person already involved themselves. This was a two-party situation, and a third wheel came along and inserted them into that. Again, my note was, interesting take. I understand it's complicated, but I think the wife has the right to know, she has ownership here, and the other woman already involved herself. Yeah. The whole idea of stepping out of a relationship, I think the only crux, and this came up on an Abraham thing recently. Excuse me. I think deceit is the biggest problem of all of that. Deceit. Anyway, that was some notes on that. But I'd opened that page up, and that the lines that I had written, when I was thumbing through the book on this idea of shame and guilt, that line about, what did it say? Some things would rather not, have out in the town square or whatever. Don't we all have that? Don't we all have things that, look, whatever I do that is a transgression or something that would lead me to feelings of shame or guilt, I may not necessarily want it out broadcast in the town square. How did it phrase it? It was so perfectly phrased. Hold on, I gotta find it again because that was. I wouldn't care to have advertised. There we go. Yeah, I love that's perfectly said. In a fashion we wouldn't care to have advertised. At the same time, too, is true. That's where I think give yourself grace. Understand that, okay, yes, let me feel the feelings for that. Let me forgive myself and let me move the fuck on. That's what I want to see you do. All of you, all of us humans. You know what I mean? Feel it. Feel the guilt. Take the lesson from it. So, okay, I don't want to do that again. Right? And then move on. Release it. Don't allow your don't allow whipping sticks to perpetuate in perpetuity, continually forever and ever. Don't pitch a tent in those feelings. Don't get warm and fuzzy and cozy and nestle up with feelings of guilt and shame. Take the lesson and then get on with your life. You know what I mean? And especially my last post on the blog here was the one about I am gay. I am happy. That was the point of that, but you'd have to watch the episode to get the point of that, I guess. There's a lot of people who are being bullies in this world, making their fellow human feel lesser than, feel to live with feelings of shame and guilt for the essence of who they are, not a misstep, a transgression, an action they took in the world, but for the fucking essence of who they are. And you want to make them feel lesser than? You're the bully. I have no problem bullying bullies just to put them in their place. You know what I mean? Like, just to put them in their place. I will go no further than that. I'm not really attempting to bully anyone. But if I push some buttons in you with that I am gay post, there's a reason for that. I suggest you want to pay attention to that. Let that grab your attention. Have I been an asshole in the world? Have I made a human feel lesser than for the essence, for the human that they are? Is that appropriate? Should I continue on with that way? Or should I look at that, realize the error in my way, forgive myself, realize I am a, what do they call it? I am a product of my environment. I am a product of my upbringing. I wasn't willing to challenge the status quo, which is okay, cool beans, not a problem. Nope, not beating you up for that. Very, very understandable how we could become the product of our environments, right? But is that what I had done? And did I allow society to think for me? Did I allow my elders to think for me? Did I buy stories of bullshit and then I perpetuate that bullshit onto my fellow human? Okay, if so, let me evaluate all of that. Let me see the ways in which I've been a bully. Let me see the ways in which I've been an asshole. Let me course correct. I think that I'm really kind of getting there is, if you read the or watch the I am gay post and you got some buttons pushed in you, I would suggest look at that, do some self-evaluations, feel those feelings of guilt and shame. That is appropriate. That's beautiful. But don't pitch a tent there either. Do what you need to do to forgive yourself for your transgressions. See the good in yourself, because there's far more good in yourself than there is the asshole, right? And move on. Give the world another happy human. That's what we can do. All right. It's 4 something in the morning. I've already got coffee going. I'm getting on with my day. That's another one for the Matt Shorty, or excuse me, for the Shorty Does Life blog. And you know I'm going to close it out the way I close it out. Namaste, motherfuckers.